Kindly subscribe and hit the notification button to get updates.
It's bad that we don't even make half of our yearly income. That's bad. What is now worse still is the MD is putting it all on me. He's been para me now and he's giving me 2 weeks ultimatum. I don't know anything about all of these things that he's missing. I don't even know what I'm going to do. He's threatening me. He's threatening my life. In fact, from what I'm hearing, it's already turned into a lawsuit. Why explain the whole thing in terms of sharing? I don't get it. So I'm home. Let me just try to get some rest. At least get to hotel. He said to now this is 9 p.m. I'm just getting home. I'll pay you back later. Baby, what's up?
I'm fine. Good evening.
Oh.
Oh, welcome. How are you?
I'm worn out.
Hey, sorry.
Who can know the machine?
It is well. Imagine, they called me from shower school.
Begin.
That we've not paid the school fee and the traveling allowance. The traveling, I don't even know, the excursion to Dubai. I will not pay for it.
She doesn't call Dubai.
Imagine, mọ́tò mi máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí fún mi problem. God forbid, I can never be disgraced. I was just going along the road. It was just I now remember that the time for servicing is due. So we need to service the car again. Then I need to shop. We don't even have food in the house like that. When I got to the car, just so that the noodles was remaining.
You don't need school fees, shower.
No, everything will amount to 750.
750 what?
1,000 now. Are we just paying? Shasha mama son.
350 lands on tele.
Hey, it's double now. Oh, I told you they increased it by 50%. I told you then now, and you said there is no problem. You later one go by. So we one le almost and call you so that I can remind you. It is well. Oh God.
They said 200,000 deducted from my account.
Which 200,000? Is that from the account? What?
Regular savings.
Actually, ṣẹlẹ̀ tó ní báyìí kí ni mo sì sọ ṣó ní nǹkan tó ṣe láti fi ṣẹlẹ̀ there lọ máa ṣàánú mi there wake up now.
Don't give me sẹ́sẹ̀.
Don't now ló ṣe are you okay?
What happened?
I don't know. I just saw you on the floor. Pẹ̀lẹ́ there, are you awake? Pẹ̀lẹ́, are you okay? Ó wá ṣe bí bóyá ìgbà tẹ̀ ni mo ṣe ń sọ fún ẹ lọ́wọ́ nígbà tí mo kàn rí pò lọlẹ̀.
Kí ló sọ?
Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Ó ṣe bí bóyá ìgbà tá máa ṣe ní next weekend. Sorry, it is well with you there.
Well, I'm sure.
So sorry. Ọ̀rọ̀ wá ṣe bí bóyá ìgbà mo ṣe ṣàlàyé fún ẹ lọ́wọ́ kó tó di pé mo rí pò lọlẹ̀. Wọ́n kàn yà mí lẹ́nu. I was thinking about telling you again that the grandma's allowance, he has called for it. Mo rí you. Ká tó sọ̀rọ̀ ọmọkùnrin tí ń dákú kí ló ń ṣe?
Stay tuned for our feature presentation. Statistics has confirmed men die earlier.
It looks as if most of the load is upon the man. But you see, the mental health of a man, at times a man is a million things are running through his head at the same time.
And that means that, look, if we don't face the reality and do something about it, history will obviously repeat itself.
But the weight on a man at times allows them to depreciate.
You're welcome to another session of Naked and Not Ashamed. And we count it a very rare privilege to be able to bring you these sessions, because these sessions are life savers. They talk about everything from marriage to wedding to life, and basically how we can get the best one from the other and get the best from our spouses, And of course, when we apply these simple wisdoms from the truth of God's word, it will help us. It will help us. It will help to make things easier and for us to understand that marriage is not as complex as men have made it to seem. Yes, today's topic is another dynamic one, and straight to the point, it's the question, why men die earlier? Have you discovered that on a humorous side, there are usually very little widowers, only widows? In fact, many people don't even know that there's a word called widowers, because what is known are widows. Have you also realized that there are several elderly landladies that were not the one that built the house? They inherited it. In fact, have you also realized that when men are writing the next of kin, they write their wives? When their wives are writing next of kin, they write their children.
Okay, that's enough. Now that is enough. Abba.
Well, since the first lady has said that is enough, over to you there.
So what I'm saying is that in that direction, why is it that they are just, it's as if today's session is about women?
I say over to you there.
We're not the ones killing them. But since we're
okay. Let me tell a joke.
Okay.
There's an old joke that I like to tell. So there's this man that his health was failing drastically, so he had to go and do some medical test. And when the test results came back, the doctor came into his office where the man and his wife were seated. And the doctor said, well, your test results are back and we've looked at it, and basically we're just going to give you some medication here and there, just take it easy and use it. And then he now asks the man, do you mind if I can speak to your wife alone? So the man excused them. And then the doctor said to the wife, actually, there's nothing wrong with your husband. He's just fatigued. He said, but if you want him to live long, there are 3 things he needs. He says good food, plenty of rest, and plenty of sex. And then the woman left. She and her husband left. On the way home, they got into traffic when the husband suddenly turned to the wife and asked, I'm just curious, what did the doctor even say? The wife said, the doctor said you are going to die.
What that means is that he's ready to give him good food, peace of mind, no sex.
But really, the truth is this, the sad truth. Statistics has confirmed men die earlier. That's the question. But first of all, let us accept the fact. Before we start asking the why, let us face the reality that, look, this is the sad reality. And that means that, look, if we don't face the reality and do something about it, history will obviously repeat itself. So the question is, why do men die earlier? Over to you there.
Okay, so since we've started on this note, I would like to say that, and I'm sure you would agree with me.
That I'm not going to die earlier.
You ain't going nowhere. I'm not done with you yet. One of the reasons why I feel men die earlier is because it looks as if most of the load is upon the man.
Definitely.
Do you know we say jokingly that a woman is multitasking, a woman can do 4 or 5 things at the same time. Everything that a woman does is still physical. And in one way or the other is keeping her fit. Sincerely, it's making her keep fit and everything. But you see, the mental health of a man, at times a man is a million things are running through his head at the same time, and he's trying to cope. He's trying to cope with from work, with family, with in-laws, with children, with everything. And it looks as if this marriage fails, is on the man. So the mental drain,
Pressure,
the mental
weight,
pressure, the
yeah.
weight on a man at times allows them to depreciate. It allows them, it deteriorates them faster than every other thing. And you know, another thing that happens is when it gets to a particular point, when women start having children, the attention for the man reduces. When they now start having grandchildren, the attention depreciates. Why? Because the attention is now on the child's and the child's child, on the grandchildren. That's when they will leave the man in the house and go and do omugo. They'll go and take care of the children. They'll travel abroad. They will do this and do that. And they leave the man at home. For who to take care of, for who to cater for who to pay attention to. So, you know, and this scenario that we're painting are things that happen. If you have that, we're like, hey, we have to go and take care of the children. Take your husband along. I say this thing jokingly. If we're going to take care of any child, any grandchild, anywhere on the face of the earth, as long as my husband is available, we're going together.
I'll remind you.
Yes. See, because a lot of times when we don't do that, you give time for the man to either be left alone
Or lonely.
to be lonely,
And it's not good for a man to be alone.
That's the point where they start looking for one small girl. This, I don't want to use that word. A silly woman will now look for a house help, a female house help, and say, go and stay with daddy. If daddy is sharp, daddy has to maintain his, you know, he has to be okay. So that's another problem that we create for ourselves. But it's sincerely, I think one of the major reasons is the mental drain, the pressure of this family has to be fine. At times, I feel like the pressure, the mental pressure, the financial pressure, the every other pressure weighs on them more than the physical things that women do. Make sure the child is okay, do school runs, wash plates, cook food, go to the market. Those things are ways of us exercising. But see, the other one, which is the emotional and the mental one, it drains the men faster than it does the women.
It's not easy to be a man. It's not easy. You know, there's a saying, and very true, that a woman carries a baby in her womb for 9 months, and it's not an easy feat at all. But what is worthy of consideration is that once that baby is born, that man carries that baby on his head, in his mind, at least unto adulthood. When a baby marries and goes to set up a family of their own. You know, I saw one picture on the internet greatly illustrates what it means to be a man. And in that picture, a woman was backing her baby and the man was backing her. Do you know that as a married woman, let me tell you this, I know you would initially challenge this, but you just look at it and you will discover I'm actually telling the truth. There are several things that your husband does you don't know. There are several things you just take for granted. Let us take, for example, if you have internet in your house, you don't even consider the fact that this internet is money that is making it work. Just by, honey, that internet is not going, you understand? You know, there's several things that, for a lot of women, they don't even give thought to the fact that, this electricity that is working, money is being paid. So at times, you see my women ask the man, what are you even spending your money on? If he should go on sabbatical or he should travel on vacation for a while, then you would know. Many a times, sadly, many women do not even realize what the husband is doing until he's no longer there. Listen to me. Listen, your husband will be to your benefit longer on earth if you give him peace of mind. You see, the man has many challenges that confront him, many things he has to face. The one he cannot survive is not to have peace at home. When every man has gone to war, which is life is war, that man requires a safe abode, a place where he can have peace of mind, to rest his mind before he goes back to the challenges of life. Otherwise, if it's war outside, war inside, he will not last long, because man requires rest. Even God rested after he had completed the task. Men should find a place. A home should not just be a house. It shouldn't be a place where you reside. It should be a place where peace resides. It should be a place where you know that, look, this is my sanctuary, this is my safety wall. So that no matter what you are going through, you know that when I get home, I can have rest and peace of mind.
Please stay tuned. We'll be right back after the break.
See how to find favor with God and men. See, because the principles of God will bring profitability into your life.
You're welcome to Vantage Church, a colosseum with a clear-cut mandate to equip the saints with faith relevant for today's living. Our mission, to raise a body of believers who are led by the Spirit and aren't born to any religious notions, is our passion. We're committed to an out-of-the-box Christianity and empowerment to a life of impact and relevance. We invite you to join any of our services, our worship services on Sunday by 10 a.m. at Providence Court beside Coca-Cola, Mokola, Ibadan.
We proclaim to you the good news today.
You're welcome back to today's episode on Naked and Not Ashamed. Actually, one of the things that my husband said now that is very true is the fact that if a man has peace, he can conquer the world.
That's right.
If a man has a woman standing right beside him or behind him, he knows that he can achieve much more. There's no point fighting war outside and fighting war inside. And that's why a lot of men look for alternatives. Either at the beer parlor, or they start womanizing, or they get addicted to their work, or they look for something that they can derive peace from. If there's no peace at home, a man cannot last long. And because they want to last long, they create alternatives for themselves. And then that brings in more war. Because the woman will begin to say, you're cheating on me, you don't have time for me, you're this, you're that. But if only the woman can have a safe abode, a peaceful abode, a nagging wife would always chase a man outside. As long as they keep nagging the husband, you're not good enough, you're not this, you're useless, you're not that, a man cannot have peace. And as long as there is no peace in the heart of a man, he cannot achieve anything. Give a man peace and he will conquer the world. Give a man peace and he will achieve much more. Give a man peace, good food and good sex, and he will do a lot more than every other man. Look at men around you. Any man that you see that is thriving and is doing fantastically well, go and check back at home. If the home is a good place for him to thrive, then that is why he's doing well. That is why he's doing. He looks
excelling.
As if he's better than his mates.
That's right.
The wife has a lot to contribute. That's why I keep saying that the work of a wife is beyond just cooking for him and sleeping with him. You also have to give him the confidence that it can make him go a long way. You can tell a man, I believe in you. You can do it. Even when he doesn't believe himself, just tell him you believe in him. He will feel like, I mustn't disappoint my wife. She already believes in me and he wants to strive to do more. And once he comes back, you massage his ego, you give him what he wants, you give him peace of mind, he will be able to last longer.
Men need fun.
Yeah.
They need things to relieve the pressure.
Yeah.
That's why many men go to clubs.
Yeah.
A lot of men go and watch football with the excuse that the screen is bigger. It's just so that you not be calling him and be discussing tomato and onions just when they're about to score the goal. You understand? And this is not the time. Let him watch again. And then women now, you're not hearing women say, and I'm talking to you. You're not even listening to me.
We will allow you to watch.
It's at the moment that he turns to say, That's when he does. He says, go. He missed the goal. He now consoled himself that there will be a replay. As they're about to do the replay, NEPA takes light. That man will go to sleep, you get in. And they told me to come to the club. You understand? Interestingly, one night I was coming home and I remember my wife had left earlier, than I did. We're coming from the office. She had left way ahead of me. There was one insane traffic. I remember she told me, she called me. When I hit the traffic, she told me she had been in for almost 1.5 hours, but it had gotten more severe, that I might be there for 3 hours. I finally, she advised I finally find, a place to hang out. So I finally turned around and I found a lounge. A lounge. So I just, entered there, took a table to myself, bought a drink, just to relax there. Interestingly, there was a table beside mine that had five highly motivated men. 5 men just discussing. Guess what they were talking about? Their wives. And that was quite funny and amusing to me. They were talking about their wives and the stress that they find in marriage. Women do not do this intentionally, but I believe that it's time women understand the repercussions of it. You know, if you want that man to last longer, let him have some fun. You see, in every man, there will always reside a boy.
Yeah.
Just like in every woman, there will always reside a little girl. That boy requires fun. That is why, listen, part of the most attractive thing that a man requires is that fun and that peace of mind. Let me clarify something for you this amazing day. A man's greatest want is sex. People have mistaken that to be his greatest need. No. His greatest want is sex. A man's greatest need is peace of mind. To have a place where his heart, he's not agitated. A place of unnecessary pressure. You understand? Where things are not mounted on him. You know, when we look at Samson threw his life away. He threw everything away because he found peace on the laps of Delilah. The Bible says, and Samson found peace, a place to rest his head. You know, the Bible says that it is better to live in the corner of the roof than to stay in a house with a contentious woman.
Yeah.
I think one of the most humorous adverts I've ever seen was one man that sat on the roof with a crate of drinks, you know, and he'll be taking a drink, and from that, they'll just take the hammer and hit the roof. Go. And I continued, as if he's doing something. I continued, you know, because he just wants his peace.
Yeah. You know, when it comes to giving man peace of mind, just like my husband said, if Samson can find peace on the laps of Delilah, why not on the laps of his wife? You know, some of us women, we have this habit of having a list of things to discuss with our husbands when he comes back from work. We need a plumber to come and check the tap. The washing machine is not working. The gas cooker needs to be serviced. The electric iron is not working. The electric gas is... You know, at times when he comes back, the first thing you should bring to him is not all the stress and all the wahala of the countenance. Look at what is he coming in a high street?
Even if down. He's not, even if he's high. That's not what he needs.
What he needs is how
he's welcome.
How did they go? Hope you have.
That man is striving for the whole family.
Yeah, you should be able to ask him, were you able to achieve some of your goals today? What were the challenges you faced? Now, let me tell you this. Not all men will open up to you and tell you the issues they had at work.
You just say fine.
But the fact that you ask,
yes.
God bless goes a long way. Yeah. It's not every time my husband tells me, a lot of times when I'm asking further questions, be like, baby, the details are not necessary. Thank you for asking. At times I want to know, so who now said what? What did they now say? Did they now go? Be like, if I tell you now, to what end? It's not necessary. Yeah, but a woman wants to know the intricacies, all the bits, and because when we are telling you, we'll tell you the bus conductor that drove us for us, and then we got to the market, the woman that said something, and when we were buying this, a woman passed and was wearing this. We want to give you all the details. So when we expect you to give us the details, you are like, it's not necessary. But you see, still listen to that woman. But woman, one thing you need to understand is this. When your husband comes home, don't attack him at the door and start saying this. Allow him to cool down. One thing that I do for my children is when they want to ask their dad for something or they want to request for something, they'll ask, Mommy, is this a good time? If children can ask that question, you as a wife, as a woman, should ask yourself, is this a good time to discuss this with my husband? That times the husband will be like, why did you? I felt like I shouldn't bring this to you yet. I didn't want to trouble you with this particular issue. I felt like I can wait till night or till the following morning. Let me tell you this, there are certain times where in the middle of the night, my husband will wake me up to say, you know what, let's talk. That times it's very early in the morning. That times it's late at night. That times it's during the day. You just call on the phone to say, do you have time? Can we talk now? It doesn't have to be, you have to read each other's countenance. When the man has gone all day and his boss has given him issues,
even if it's his own boss.
Yes, if it's his own boss. Different clients, different customers. A lot of has happened. Just chill. Allow him to give him something to eat, relax, let him take a shower. And hey, when he's calm and you see that the countenance is making jest and everything, and hey, you now know when to ask. Especially when it comes to money issues. Let a man come with high spirits. Let him come laughing and smiling. The moment you mention money, their face will first change. Like
no, that's not true. It depends on the situation and the circumstances.
It depends on the amount, yo. Because
And
you see, that's certain
that's why I
amount.
say it still depends on the situation. Because a man that his face frowns at the amount is an irresponsible man. It depends on the situations that surround it. For example,
What if you don't
when
have
you
the
have
money?
known, wait now, that when you have known or that need should have been arrested at the proper time, and then you
Okay.
bring it to his table at the last dying minute,
Because
or
we feel
something
like
that
men
could
are
have
Superman.
done, and then you not bring
We
it,
always feel like
and then you
they're
expect
Superman,
the man to
expect
just,
them to have a
to snap like God.
But because they always do once in a while, they always come to the rescue.
So you want him to last, not to last
You will
longer.
last.
Okay.
You will last.
Amen.
Well, last by Jay.
Well, I love you, bro. Awesome. I want to create a quick analogy for you. Lagos to Ibadan, for those that reside in Nigeria, Lagos to Ibadan, all things being equal, is 100 kilometers per hour. Is it 100? 120 kilometers per hour, yes. Which means that if you're going at 120 on your speedometer, you would arrive in Lagos from Ibadan in 1 hour's time. But you see, the interesting thing is that some people have been known to arrive there in 45 minutes time. In fact, now it's a bit more challenging because at times the road is a bit more, but back in the day, I know I've actually been in the car where they arrived there just barely over 40 minutes. What does that tell you? That, where you can arrive at in 1 hour, going at the 120 kilometers per hour, if you are going at the 160 kilometers per hour, 170, you can arrive there in 45 minutes. In the same way, some people can be going as slow as 60 kilometers per hour. They might arrive there in 2 hours. What am I saying? How fast you arrive at Lagos or that destination depends on how much speed you are putting yourself under. Some men, listen, if men are going at the normal speed of life, which is that there's not undue pressure upon them.
Anywhere.
They are going, not that everything is on him. Sir, that man will get to his old age at the right time. 90 is good, over 90, very good. You understand? Even over 80, we will accept it, Grandpa. But that some men have died at the age of 55, 60, 65, and when they did an autopsy on their body, there was one I heard that was quite remarkable. The man died at the age of 55. When they did an autopsy of his body, they say his body was at age to 120.
Wow.
Why? Because God that made man to carry certain things.
Please stay tuned. We'll be right back after the break. We'd like to intimate you with our online platform where we have an amazing list of events to bless you every week. You can join us for prophetic prayers every Monday to Wednesday by 6 a.m. where we connect to God's blessings. Every Tuesday is our special couples session by 7 p.m. where we talk about every area of marriage, relationship, finances, and children. On Wednesday, we have our midweek Bible study by 7 p.m. to help us grasp the deeper understanding of the things of God. You can join any of these awesome live sessions at Yinka Adeleke on Facebook and Instagram. Simply search yinka.adeleke on Facebook, Yinka_Adeleke on Instagram. You can also search for Yinka Adeleke on YouTube for amazing and insightful messages covering every subject. You can also enjoy reruns of all our Naked and Not Ashamed sessions on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube every Friday by 8 p.m. You'll surely be blessed. You're welcome back to today's episode on Naked and Not Ashamed.
There's so much a man can carry. First and foremost, God himself ordained it and gave us by example that man should rest. He made and ordained the Sabbath. Man needs to rest. You understand? Man needs to rest. Secondly, Jesus said, Sufficient is the day's trouble. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will take care of itself. How many of you, by worrying, have added 1 cubit to your life? The Living Bible Translation says that worry is like a rocking chair.
Yeah.
It gives you something to do, but gets you nowhere. So that man should be able to reset. Listen, one of the greatest benefits of a man is when you can come home. Baby, I must say that you give me peace. Nowadays, let me tell you what I've discovered that has been working for me. It's not that I give me peace. You didn't give me peace before. Let's say the truth and let the devil be ashamed.
Jesus.
You see,
On
my wife
evil.
is giving me peace. I'm telling you the truth. And it's making me look younger, more energetic, more effective, and it's making me more of a loving husband. You know, in the early days, I too have suffered. But thank God, you know, God has caught up with her. You understand? You see, when a man comes home, he should come to reset.
Oh my goodness.
Nowadays, I have a technique that has discovered that it works for me. Ask my wife. Many times I sleep as early as 9. At times after 8, like yesterday. The moment she finished her session online, I went to bed. By the time my wife entered the room, lights were off, I was on bed. Why? I sleep early. Why? I wake up early.
Okay.
Today I've been awake as early as 1:50 something a.m. and I didn't go back to sleep again until 4, and I woke up at 5:30 because we had morning prayers. So, and even I like it when I wake up, everywhere's quiet, everybody's still sleeping. It gives me a head start. I get more done, and I'm a person that does so much. So you see, when a man has that peace, he will last longer. Don't allow your husband to get to the place. You know, there are things that a wife can help the man with. You see, let me explain some things to you. In marriage, God expected that two will carry it together. That's the Bible says 1,000 will put, one will put 1,000 to flight, 2 will put 10,000. Listen, the man should not be putting 10,000 to flight. If he does, he will arrive there earlier.
Yeah.
55, he has lived 120 years on earth, equivalent of 120 years on earth. Why? What he has carried was the weight for 2. Do not kill your husband. Understand that it is to your benefit if that man is here longer. Sir, you are the one that will enjoy. Because once that man goes, listen, all of that pressure, all of that weight is coming on you. Help that man to preserve his life.
You know, when he was talking about the issue of helpmates, even the Bible says when God made Adam, he said, I'll give you a helpmate.
A helpmate.
A helpmate for you. Why?
Yeah.
Because he knew that man cannot do it alone. If you are not a helpmate for your husband, then you are stressing him. Then you are causing him to do much more than he's designed.
Can I say something? Sorry to interrupt, just really. You know, a lot of women, I need to say this, the concept in which they get married with is that once I find this man, I want to dump everything, even recharge card. Hello?
That's my
you know, some women, the way you know that you have entered trouble is from the time you start dating. They say, hey, recharge card, though, you haven't sent the one for this week. It should not carry everything. Sorry to interrupt you there.
Yeah, it's a helpmate. And when you are not a helpmate, you know, the funny thing is, the man will always look for help. He would end up looking for the help somewhere else. Why would you allow your husband to go and look for help somewhere else when the help that God has designed for him is right there with him, and the person is not doing what she's supposed to do? Listen, women, we're supposed to be the helpmate. Let us take our position. And anytime you help your husband, you see, gone are the days when it's the man that does everything. Now the man and the woman, they do the
together.
Together.
That's right.
I see there's nothing wrong in you earning more than your husband or your husband earning more than you, as long as they can say what are the things that you want to help with. In fact, some women that I know, they won't even ask the husband for it, they'll just go and sort it out. At that, you know, even your husband will respect you more. Your husband would give you that respect that is accorded to a woman. Let us stop this thing of it's a man's job, it's a man's job, it's a man's job. I heard things like, if he helps me in the kitchen, means I will help him. Hello? If your husband helps you in the kitchen, blessed are you. Oh. If your husband helps you to tidy up a few things here and there, blessed are you. I'm not saying it's a woman's job alone to be in the kitchen. If your husband is there and is someone that can help in the kitchen, he has the time, don't see it as, oh yeah, help me so I can help you. That's not the way it's done. Let me just say that now. A woman should do her chores, the things she's supposed to do. If a man can help, please help. If you're available to do it, please help her out, because at times she also gets tired. She gets all the stress from the children, from the office.
That's right.
Now women are working. So she gets the office stress, the house chores, the children will call her. She starts to attend to you as a man. And at night, you still tell her to enter the second room. It's also a lot for a woman. But at the same time, women, let us take our position. Let us help the man as much as we can, because he needs that help for him to last longer.
Thank you. Honestly, we want to hope that this session has been helpful for you to understand that you have a part to play in how long your husband lives. Men can live longer. And when my wife was talking, there was a point that I wanted to also put as a balance. There's something, a woman might choose to be a housewife, provided it's with the consent of her husband, and no man has the right to force it upon his wife. But at times, I understand the pressure some men have been under to enforce it, because they saw how their fathers lived their lives in regard to their mother's business and how it affected the children, and they didn't want that for their families. Because listen, if the man is hustling and bustling, and so is the woman, who takes care of the home? Who takes care of the greatest responsibility God has committed unto us as parents, which are our children? If the man is the one that is guarding the front door and the wife is guarding the front door, who's not guarding the back door? And the children are left to the mercy of house assistants and television gadgets to keep them busy. And then you are not the one that is raising your child, and then you now complain when that child is growing old and begin to exhibit behaviors that why is this child behaving like this? It's not your child. You just gave birth to them. Like my wife was talking yesterday, very powerful message that parents are in the capacity to be source and sustainer. You didn't sustain that child. So you cannot, you cannot complain for whatever. The child is exhibiting what he has been taught, basically. So some men, as a result of that, will say, but listen, if a man wants that, let the woman know before you get married that this is what I would want. But the point I want to make is this. If a woman chooses, based on her and her husband, to be housewife, if they choose, it's not an easy job. It's not easy to take care of the home. That such a man should also be giving that woman some compensation, some support. She's not working, not that she's working and she's not dropping money. The man should be doing that. He will realize it is responsibility. But such women should make the home a complete safe haven for the man. Whether before that, things are in place. You understand what I'm saying? Things are in place. Not that the man will not get home. You'll not be asking him at 9:30, what will you eat? 9:30 p.m., not a.m. What will you eat? The devil hasn't found a better question. What will you eat? And as a result of that, there are some men have not relegated their wives to housewives, but they have said, look, I don't want you to do anything that is too demanding.
So you can have time for the children.
So that you're doing some kind of business, you're working from home, you're doing your stuff, so that you can have time for the home. But whatever it is, please understand, you are the mother of that house. And when you are the mother of that house, whatever you are not mothering, you are mothering. Yeah. I don't know whether I'm pronouncing it right. Whether you're not M-O-T-H-E-R, whether you don't mother, you are M-U-R-D-E-R. You are killing it. The home, the sanctity of it is on you. Understand, the man is the foundation of the home, but the woman is the pillar. That's why the Bible says a wise woman builds up her home, but a foolish one puts it down with her very hands. We hope this session has been as much a blessing to you as it has been for us. Thank you.
We would love your comments to come in. We would love to hear your feedbacks. And we'd also love to hear your questions so we can know exactly what areas to address. So until next week, be naked and not ashamed.